Going to platinum Alone in the Dark, hopefully.
Now what do we got here?
Okay, I'm gonna restart that.
Now what do we got here? This one's big tree to fit inside a conservatory.
Yeah, sorry. I just, like, I was trying to get into that game, but it just seemed, like, really cumbersome, and, like, it would take a really long time to figure out how to play it, and I just wasn't willing to invest that time into it. At least not right now.
Please do not. That doesn't look safe.
Huh, I want to see what? Okay. I'm trying to see something.
Now, what do we got here?
How many? Doesn't matter.
This one big tree to fit inside a conservatory. Whoa.
The last thing I have to do to get the platinum trophy for this game is finish it without healing, which you saw me almost do last time, but for some reason it didn't count. I think I may have accidentally healed on the way. So I'm having to restart over basically, and literally that's the only thing stopping me from getting the platinum for this game. I will fucking want it. So, God, you know it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as I don't drink it, I'll be fine.
Okay. Oh.
So I'm just trying to skip through it as quickly as possible so I can get it.
Every night. Christ, what the hell was that?
I recognize this place. It's Miss Jackson's seance parlor. Let's see if she's... It's the talisman, like the one in the painting. I think it's meant for the talisman. I think it needs numbers, like coordinates.
He read.
Maybe there's something in Jeremy's notes. It's showing something. A place? Where is that? Huh.
Detective.
This talisman brought me back from the French Quarter in the blink of an eye. If Jeremy can travel so easily, then he could be hiding anywhere, even Teruel. If he can do it, so can I. I just need to figure out how the talisman works.
Sergeant. Dr. L.
Hold on a second. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How eccentric. What are these symbols? Looks like alchemy, or star constellations.
Yeah. Every basic ass bitch has to be into astrology.
Got it.
What happened? Everything's normal again? Right.
Ah, fuck, wrong way. I gotta go this way.
Now we're talking. What the hell is going on? Got it. Nice.
This was... Looks like the plate that held the top.
I think I've seen this somewhere.
I know you're doing
I think the clock's broke. Or maybe it just stopped at a very precise place. Huh.
There's a picture in the black glass. It's showing me something. It's the hallway outside Jeremy's room. I made it. I entered another one of Jeremy's memories. Got it.
the hateful mound Jeremy talked about in his book.
Reflection.
It's wedged shut. It worked.
The bug.
Hold on a second.
Huh? It worked.
One second. Okay.
Jeremy? What the hell is going on? Where's the body? It's another plate for the talisman. Like the other one that's broken and missing some pieces.
Hold on a second. Okay.
You know me. It
Gracious Rama.
It's another one of those strange padlocks. So this is where Cassandra Beauregard ended up. For some reason, I thought she died years ago. It's another piece of broken plate.
God damn it. Fuck. Fuck. I have to fucking start over. Fuck. Hold on one second. You can hear my mic. I'm just trying to figure out something else to play. I fucked up. I accidentally took a swig of a healing thing. So I have to start over, and I don't know if I feel like doing that right away. The only trophy I'm missing is you have to not heal the whole game. And I accidentally hit up on the D-pad and fucking healed. They put the healing shit on the same shit as your weapons. Fuck, it's really, really fucking easy to accidentally hit up.
Now what do we got here?
Okay. I should fucking blitz through this now.
It's too dark in here. I can't see anything.
Don't hit up.
I need the key.
Every night the doctor...
Christ, what the hell was that? I recognize this place. It's the talisman, like the one in the painting. I think it's meant for the talisman. It's showing something. A place? Where is that?
Detective.
This talisman brought me back from the French Quarter in the blink of an eye. If Jeremy can travel so easily, then he could be hiding anywhere.
Dr.
Even Teruel. If he can do it, so can I.
Paul,
I just need to figure out how the talisman works.
eccentric. What are these symbols? Looks like alchemy or star constellations.
Got it.
What happened? Everything's normal again? Right. What the hell is going on?
Got it.
This must be the clock that Jeremy... Looks like the plate that held the talisman.
I think I've seen this somewhere.
I think the clock broke. Maybe it just stopped at a very...
There's a picture in the black glass. It's showing me something. It's the hallway outside Jeremy's room.
If
One second, I gotta go. Get the shotgun real quick.
Now we're talking. Huh? What? I entered another one of Jeremy's memories. Got it.
hateful mound Jeremy talked about in his book.
Reflect?
It's a wedge shot.
It worked.
The bar low.
It.
It's another one of those strange padlocks. So this is where Cassandra Beauregard ended up. For some reason, I thought she died years ago. It's another piece of broken plate.
She'll say the complaint and she'll fix my shit organization. And I'm just giving her doesn't do them, and I'm just giving her doesn't do them.
It worked. Jeremy? What the hell is going on?
Where's the body? plate for the talisman. Like the other one that was broken and missing some pieces.
Okay. I've almost got it. Where? What am I missing? Oh.
Black glass is showing another room. Must be a way to another one of Jeremy's memories. I knew it. I knew it would work.
We're getting good at this, Connery. I know I'm too good at this. What's this?
Now what do we got here? Got it.
Yeah. Problem with anxiety, honestly. Oh, if you're tired, go to bed. Sleep. Yeah. I'm sitting over here like fucking Rodney Dangerfield. I can't get no respect. There's a specific way to do this, I forgot. There you go.
Too many of them. Gotta get out of here.
Now, what do we got here? Thank God that's over. Huh.
Fuck, there's a specific way to do this, I forget.
seen so...
Oh, snap! Okay, hold on. I don't know what I'm doing now. Do you have any plans for Halloween with the kids? That's lame. We still gotta give them candy, right? Alright, so I'm making my official quit time at 11:11, so in less than it, just over half an hour. Woo! Come on, you gotta give them candy on Halloween. What kind of monster doesn't give them fucking candy on Halloween? You're being a fucking monster, man. Yeah, but it's Halloween! Give them some fucking candy!
Back to normal here. The telescope lens. Why would he lock that up?
Jeremy.
Okay, well, I mean, fuck the neighbor's kids. You think about your own kids. Your own kids deserve some candy, man. I'd come over there and I'd beat you, man, if I could. I can give your kids some candy on Halloween. Yeah, but it's not from you, though. It's not from you, Mary. Yeah, but like, that's just part of like the fun.
Whoa, what's going on? It's dialing in something all on its own and it's showing the way to another memory. Where is that?
And
That that's why if they're not behaving, you just you smack them around a little bit. Don't do nothing. When you get the belt, fucking go Old Testament on them.
I'm not gonna walk out of this. I need to help Emily save her own.
If there ever comes a time when I don't want fucking candy for Halloween, man, just fucking shoot me and end it.
I need the key.
You're too old for candy. God, it's like saying you're too old for fucking sunshine and rainbows. Oh, Jesus. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, shlibba-dabba. Oh, where the fuck is the key to the dining room? Hold on. No, it's okay. I still have the.
I need the key.
Fuck, I forgot where that key is. No, already been here. Ah, here we go.
Shut. It worked.
Oh yeah.
More of that aggressive rot.
On the common plate.
There we go. Absolutely love the lighting here. Oh, fuck, my bad. But nobody's giving me anything.
It was in the hot autumn that I went through the... Prext Shipping Company. According to the book in Tarawea, the Dark Man is connected to a performance that Jeremy went to somewhere in New Orleans. I'm sure I can find the address inside.
This game makes me sad. Not the game itself, but the situation around it. This was unfortunately a pretty good game that could have been fucking great. Hold on one second. Fucking anxiety. Oh, okay. This was a pretty good game that could have been great if they had just given it the fucking time that it needed. And then they kind of fucked it over. I don't know if you've ever heard about the Embracer layoffs. You probably haven't.
All finished.
Yeah, fuck. Hey, got me. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm gonna try to break it down for you in a way that's really simple to understand because it's a really fucking complicated situation. But Embracer is like a mega publisher, right? Like EA or Activision. They own a lot of studios. And over these last few years, they've been aggressively getting more studios. So, they committed one of the all-time fucking dumbest things that you can ever possibly do, okay? So, they were given like a $4 billion merger opportunity, okay? But they were told they had to be bigger to make the merge happen. So, like last year, they bought a shit ton of companies to be big enough for this merger. Okay? Like a shit ton. But the problem... fuck, it doesn't matter. The problem is that the CEO of Embracer is a fucking dumbass, and he didn't get the deal in writing. He got a verbal agreement, which, as I'm sure you know, in the world of business, a verbal agreement means diddly dick, okay? So, that merger fell through, and there's nothing he could do about it since he didn't get it in a contract. So they then had to let go of a shit ton of studios that they had just bought to keep the company afloat. And what happened was basically the single greatest mass layoff in video game history, like bar none. You know, every now and then you see studios closing all the time. You see sometimes a company will go under and they'll close a couple studios.
Inside the warehouse.
I am not kidding you when I say that they had to close down over 50 studios at once. And that was just the first wave. Okay? So we're looking at between 60 to 70 fucking game studios that shut down. Like, without a doubt, the single greatest mass close-off of game studios in gaming history. Like, fucking full stop. The next one isn't even close. And making the matters worse is the fact that all of that could have been fucking prevented. You understand? Like, this isn't, oh, the company's going bankrupt. Or, oh, something happened, or, you know, because all the time stuff will happen, they'll go bankrupt, and it'll be sad, but it's just like, oh, you have to deal with it, you know what I mean? In which case it would be unfortunate, but it'd be like, oh, well, you know, what are you going to do? This all could have been fucking prevented. Literally all of it could have been prevented if the guy had just said, okay, I'm going to need you to have a legal contract or I'm not going to do this. Like, I'm not a big businessman, okay? But I feel like it's like fucking business 101 when you're making any kind of huge deal for billions of dollars to get that shit in fucking writing. So it wasn't like, oh, you know, they unfortunately went bankrupt and they just had to shut down. Like, all of this could have been avoided if he wasn't a stupid fucking piece of shit. And these are huge studios, okay? These are not like, oh, little minor studios nobody's heard of. Like, a lot of big studios, because they were trying to get big companies, okay? And on top of which, I think what they did might have even been fucking illegal. Might have even been illegal because they were buying these companies, okay, these studios, and they weren't telling them that the deal hadn't gone through yet. They weren't even telling them about a deal. They were just saying, let us buy you, and we'll give you this much money or whatever. So the companies that were agreeing to this deal didn't know that the deal had been finalized, or thought it had been finalized, or they didn't even know about the deal. So, in some ways, I feel like it's borderline illegal because they were literally buying companies under false fucking pretenses. You know, if you're gonna buy a company, you have to tell them, okay, well, if this deal doesn't go through, we're gonna shut you down. They didn't do that. They didn't even tell them the merger was going through, so they just thought they were getting purchased. So, there was a ton of studios that got shut down that had no idea there was even a problem just at the time. Oh, we gotta let you go. And furthermore, these studios, most of them didn't even get to make a game. So it's not like they released a game or 2 or 3 games and didn't go and they closed them. They didn't even get a chance.
Gotta go manifest.
Here we go. The address where Jeremy first encountered the darkness.
So many studios got shut down. Like I'm saying, okay, I want you to understand this, okay? To give you an idea of the scale of the problem, right? EA and Activision are notorious for shutting down studios, okay? A game will come out, they won't like the way it goes, and they'll shut it down, okay? Embracer shut down more studios in 1 year than EA and Activision have ever shut down combined together forever. Like, I think like the next nearest highest amount of studios that got closed was 10. And this is 70, okay? So it's like, here's the second place biggest layoffs, here's the first. I mean, it's like, it will go down in history as one of the greatest video game tragedies of all time. And like I said, they didn't even get a chance to release anything. It's not like, well, they released games and they didn't do well, so they had to shut down the studio. They didn't even get a chance to release Diddly Dick. And like I said, they were bought on false pretenses. It was fucking insane. And then that was just the start. They kept laying off studios. Not as many, but they kept laying them off. Well, this game was a game that got royally fucked over by that whole situation, okay? So, they were lucky enough to escape the first round of chopping block, because this game is made by Pisces Interactive, that was technically owned by Embracer. So they were lucky enough to escape the first wave of chops. But they tried to rush the game out of the door. And they ultimately had to release this game sooner than they would have liked. So the game had kind of rough issues at launch. It was nothing unplayable, but it was definitely not where it should have been when it launched. You know, it's definitely not like the worst or catastrophic, but it definitely wasn't nearly as polished. You could definitely tell it needed a couple more months in the oven. I'd say like another 3 months, and it would have been in a good shape to launch. It was just lacking that final layer of polish, and the developers didn't want to release it, but they're like, well, we need money from this now, and they were afraid they were going to get the axe, so they did. So then this game came out, and it didn't sell well. Or it didn't sell well according to Embracer. Who knows what that means? A game could have sold well for what it is, but they expected it to do $1 billion. Corporations have way the fuck overestimations. And they shut it down, closed the studio. This was intended to be the start of like a whole new trilogy with multiple games, and they closed it. And it really sucks because they got fucked on two ends. One, they were forced to shove the game out the door before it was ready, which hurt the game's reception at launch, and resulted in them having to cut content, I'm assuming, because it feels like there's a couple instances where there's blatantly cut content in this game, where they just did not have enough time, and then two, they immediately fucking canceled them, and bear in mind, the game came out near the end of February, okay, of this year. They closed the studio at the beginning of March. Okay, so they closed the studio less than 3 weeks after this fucking game launched. It's not like, they didn't even give it a month to see if it would go well. It's like, oh, it didn't sell well immediately? Give them the block.
Looks like the fog cleared up.
And it really upsets me, because this game is kind of rough around the edges, but it has such promise, and it really has a lot of heart and soul. And it kills me to see what this could have been and what they could have been. Because the studio that did this game, Pisces Interactive, they mostly did small indie games, and then they did another series that's kind of lesser known called Magica 2. But this was, they did like super small budget indie games, okay, and mobile games, and they never did any horror games, okay? So this was their first big budget game, and this was their first horror game, and for like their first game, from going from mobile games that are top down to a full big budget horror game, for making such a large fucking shift, I think they did a great job. Like I said, this is like their first major game. And it sucks because this game has a lot of heart and a lot of soul. They really focused on the detective aspects of it, because the original Alone in the Dark was a detective story, so they really focused on the detective story. They focused on the noir vibe, the detective in the 20s, the Tommy gun, they put a large part of the game into talking to people, having conversations, and piecing together the mystery. Like, they really went above and beyond to not just make another horror game to do justice to the original game, because the original game, Alone in the Dark, is considered the first survival horror game, before even Resident Evil. It came out in 1992, and it was listed as a heavy inspiration for Resident Evil, okay? So, like, honestly, like, Alone in the Dark is, like, the granddaddy of survival horror, and of horror in general. And it's considered to be one of the first major horror games that was a huge success, that paved the way for Resident Evil. So even if Alone in the Dark isn't as well known as Resident Evil, it is what allowed, you know, Resident Evil to thrive. Because like I said, I mean, the developers, I mean, obviously they didn't, you know, copy Alone in the Dark, but they took inspiration from it. So it is like, Alone in the Dark is the granddaddy of horror games. And it had a setting in the swamp in the 20s, it had a slower pace, and they've tried to reboot Alone in the Dark several times. And it's usually failed because they didn't understand what Alone in the Dark was. These developers understood it. They kept the period piece theme of it. It's 1920s. They kept the detective vibe. They kept an emphasis on talking to people and getting clues and solving puzzles and having to actually put together a mystery, because Edward Carnby is a detective. They had this really cool idea where you're going through this guy's memories, so you're not just in the house, you're looping around and seeing different places. Like, you see how, like, all of a sudden you'll be in one room and it'll switch to another, or you'll come out, you know, later on you see him go into a fucking Egyptian temple or the Arctic. So they find a way to include all these settings. You know, they have a Tommy gun, they have the 2 campaigns, each one has different dialogue, so they did the story twice, and you really have to play both campaigns to get the full story. Like, there's so much that's good in this game. But it's just rough. It's rough in that it's their first go. And it's rough in that there's clearly cut content and rushed corners. And you can tell. Where it just seems like story threads are just dropped. And you can tell there should have been more there. So, you know, like I said, they intended this to be the start of a new series. And it makes me so sad because, like, this game has so much potential, and it would have been so much better if they hadn't cut all the shit out to try and meet a deadline. And they could have taken everything that they learned from this game and put it into the next one. So, you know, like, this game it's good, it's got a lot of heart, but it's not great. It's rough around the edges. It's not quite in the league of Resident Evil or Silent Hill or stuff like that. But they could have got there with another game that they will never get a chance to make because Embracer fucking sucks. And imagine being in their studio, imagine being in their shoes. And you're basically told, okay, you got to put this game out before it's ready. You know that it's not ready. Because we need to see some money from this game now, we're going to close you. And then they put the game out before it's ready. And then they close them anyway. So they just got fucked in so many different directions. And you know, this whole, like, this game has such a great setting. Honestly, one of my favorite settings of, like, any game I played.
How do you save someone who doesn't want to be saved? Well, he's gonna get saved no matter what. I just need to find the temple somehow.
Like, every inch of this world just feels fucking handcrafted. And it just drips aesthetic, and you almost never get a horror game that's a period piece. Like, how many horror games can you think of, right, in recent memory that are a fucking period piece? Very, very few. And of those that I can think of, this is the only major one, you know? And I really fuck with it because, one, it helps it stand out from the pack. Obviously, horror is a saturated genre. And two, I'm trying to figure out how to put it, I love history. Okay, my grandmother was a history buff, and she passed that on to my father. My father actually was almost a history teacher. He literally got enough credit to become a history teacher. So he literally could have taught history, and he changed his mind at the last second. It's a long story, okay? So I fucking love history. I've always loved history. I have a passion for history. It's one of my passions in life. So I really fuck with the idea of a period piece horror game. And there's so many opportunities, and you're limited when you just make it the present. Yeah. It just sucks because like there's so much potential here that will never happen. And also, it's knowing that the cancellation of this game, sequels, is not just due to, like, oh, unfortunate circumstances. It's due to that one guy's stupidity. Like, they may have ultimately escaped the initial wave, but it's still, they wound up being cut because of the situation that guy created. So they were just like a delayed casualty of the chop. If he hadn't done all that stupid fucking shit, never would have happened.
The temporal.
You know, and like it sucks when you see like a good game just get fucking slaughtered. You know, and that's why I tried to tell my friend. Me and him, we got into a heated argument a while back.
Constellation from one of Jeremy's books. The Taurus. I got a feeling this is where the contract is hidden. But how do I get to it?
Because he was trying to say that if a game is popular, it'll show in sales. Or if a game is good, it'll show in sales. And like, that is absolutely not fucking true. Popularity has fucking nothing to do with sales. I mean, I can understand thinking that, right? On like a surface level, where if a game is popular, it'll sell well. But like, there's so many times in the gaming industry that is just not true. There will be a game that'll come out, and it will be fucking awesome, but it won't sell very well, either because it came out at the wrong time, it didn't have enough marketing. Obviously, you could have the best game in the world, and if you don't get news of it out there to people, they're not going to know. Or it'll release against another bigger game. You know? You have so many games coming out a month, or the holiday season, and people can usually only afford one big game. So a lot of the time a game will get fucked over sales-wise, not because it was bad, just because, you know, people can only buy one game and they got the other game. Like, for example, Mad Max. I don't know if you played that game. It's a great game. They did a game about Mad Max. It's a really good game. It does justice to Mad Max. It's not a copy of any movies, but it definitely feels inspired. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes the trailer will suck, so that people get the wrong idea. Like, there's all kinds of reasons, but... So... Mad Max was a fantastic game. Okay, it did justice to Mad Max. It wasn't based off of a movie. It was a lot of fun. It was unique. And a lot of people love Mad Max. I love Mad Max. And it was pretty much what any fan would want it to be. You know what I'm saying? But they made the stupid mistake of launching Mad Max on the same day as Metal Gear Solid 5. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with Metal Gear Solid. Okay? I'm a huge fan of Metal Gear Solid. But I'm pretty sure you know that at the peak of its popularity, Metal Gear Solid was at the height of the industry. One of the biggest, most successful game series in the world. Okay? So, them releasing a game with an unproven track record on the exact same day as the fucking Metal Gear Solid 5 was a colossal mistake that tanked that fucking game's sales. Or, Titanfall 2. I don't know if you've played Titanfall 2, but Titanfall 2 is widely regarded as having one of the greatest FPS games, campaigns ever. Like, the campaign for Titanfall 2 was so fucking good. Okay? Well, either way, okay? Just, you know, I'm telling you basically what you need to know. Titanfall 2 has one of the best FPS campaigns of any game ever. It is fucking phenomenal. I've obviously played a shit ton of shooters, and it has by far one of the best story modes of any shooter. But it launched right around the same time that Battlefield 1 did and Call of Duty did. Okay? So, Titanfall was a known game, obviously, because it was Titanfall 2, but it literally was competing against the two biggest fucking games in shooting, Call of Duty and Battlefield. So even though Titanfall 2 was a fucking awesome game, and most people will generally say it was better than the games it released next to, it sold abysmally because it launched against two much bigger games with much bigger budgets and got drowned out. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Battlefield. I'm not a huge fan of COD. I think I've already told you that. I'm not a big fan of military shooters. If I'm gonna play a shooter, I'm gonna play Halo, Doom, Wolfenstein, Fear, shit like that. I'm not gonna play COD. Like, I like FPS games, I just don't like military shooters pretty much. COD's not really my thing. I've played COD games here and there. I don't hate them, but they're not something I'm into, and Battlefield is pretty much the same. But, so, you know, like I said, it's so much more nuanced than that. That's why, like, I got pissed off at him, because I'm like, dude, a game will come out, and it will be a good game. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with the remakes if they're actually fucking good. They're not, you know what I'm saying? If they fucking remade them and they were good, it would be good. They remade them and they didn't. I like remakes. But yeah, I get your point. But I'm just saying, you get the point I'm trying to make, okay? That quality has nothing to do with sales. Unfortunately. You can be a fucking amazing game, and it sells like shit, and then we have games that are bad, do tremendously well. Like, I mentioned this before. Call of Duty 3, Modern Warfare 2023. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 2023. That game was shit. Even the COD fans will say it was shit, okay? What happened is every year since 2005, Mary, they have released a COD game annually. Every year. They have not missed one, okay? So for almost 20 years, they have never had a year without a COD game. So they had came into production issues, and I'm not going to go into detail because we'll be here all fucking day, and I'm sure you don't want to hear it. I'll just get to the gist. But they had come into production issues, so COD game wasn't ready. So the initial plan was, well, we can't release a new COD game, but we can make an expansion for Modern Warfare 2, so that at least we have something new coming out in 2023. But then they just couldn't go without a COD game because they depended on that money. So they took the DLC, they stretched it to a bigger size. They took stuff from other Call of Duty games that was discarded and cobbled it together into a Frankenstein's monster that is Modern Warfare 3 2023. It is fucking awful. Most people will tell you it is the worst COD game ever. It is fucking abysmal, and charging $70 for it is an affront to God. Okay? And yet, despite it being awful, despite everybody knowing it's awful, everybody thought it looked like shit from the first trailer. Okay? Because sometimes you have a game and the trailers will look good, and then the game will turn out to be shit. You know? And it'll catch people by surprise. Everybody thought from the moment they announced Modern Warfare 3 2023 that it would be shit. The campaign is like less than 2 hours. It's short even by COD standards, and COD campaigns are literally super short. It recycled maps from Warfare, so they were just lazily swapping multiplayer maps. The zombies mode was just taking fucking zombies and dropping them in Warfare, and it sucked. The fucking game was super glitchy. It didn't have a platinum trophy on PS5 because the game was thought of as a DLC. The PS5 system still recognizes DLC. Like, Modern Warfare 3 2023 is fucking terrible. And it got terrible reviews. It's considered to be the worst game of last year. The worst major game, of course. It sold over 20 million copies. And the only fucking reason it didn't get the highest grossing game of the year is because Hogwarts Legacy just barely beat it. And Hogwarts Legacy came out in February of 2023, and Modern Warfare 3 2023 came out in October. So it literally almost beat it in like half the time, okay? So a game can be shit. It can be widely regarded by even the fans as shit. It can get terrible review scores and be considered an awful game and still be the second best-selling game of the fucking year. So don't tell me popularity has to do with sales. Because if that was true, there's a lot of bad games that wouldn't have sold so well, and there's a lot of good games that would have sold more. Ah, fuck. But you get it. I hate that argument, and that's why we got into a heated debate. And it also has to do with what, you know... Fuck. I'm so low on health that, like, everything's killing me. Oh well, but I can't heal. I'm still close. I'm over halfway through the game. But yeah, so, you know... Yeah. You know, the unfortunate thing about it is that making a game a success, commercially or financially, is not a science. There's no fucking formula, you know what I mean? You can have a game come out and it do super well, and then make a similar game and it just do terribly. Even if it's a good game, you can have a good game come out and do badly, a bad game come out and do goodly. Or good. Do well, I'm sorry. It's not science. It depends on what the public is feeling like at the time, because culture shifts and moves. Maybe you released an FPS game, and that FPS game was really good, but at the time the public wasn't really into FPS games. You see genres will continuously have booms, and then they'll wane. You know, so it's like you have a time where RPGs will be the hot button issue, and everybody wants an RPG. Then you have a time where society is sick of RPGs. So if you release an RPG during then, you know, and you can't predict how culture's gonna go. what the trends are going to be. You can't predict that, especially not when a lot of these games are working on 5-6 years. You can't predict, well, 5 or 6 years from now, they're going to love RPGs. Like Baldur's Gate 3. That game, nobody expected, even the developers didn't expect it to be the massive fucking success that it was. Where it was literally like the most critically acclaimed game of last year. I haven't played it. I'm not really a fan of it. It's like a top-down, like, D&D rule set. I'm not a huge fan of top-down games, for one. And I'm especially not a fan of tactical games where you're moving enemies on a grid, or characters on a grid. Like strategy games, like Fire Emblem, Civilization. I'm not a big fan of tactical games like that. I think they call them tactical RPGs, like Final Fantasy Tactics or Fire Emblem. I'm not a fan of those types of games. If I'm going to play a game top-down, I prefer to have real-time combat. When it's just like moving enemies on a grid or your characters on a grid, I'm not really about it. And then Baldur's Gate also uses D&D rule set, and I'm not really into D&D. I know that seems kind of weird because, I'm normally such a big nerd, but I'm not really a big fan of D&D. So, it being top-down, tactical battles, and it being D&D makes me not interested in it. I'm glad that people liked it. I've heard that if you like those types of games, it is the absolute best. So, I can commend them for being, the peak of the genre. I just don't really like that genre. It's like I said before, I don't like puzzle games. I like puzzles in games, but I don't like games where you just solve puzzles, if that makes sense. So, not my swag. So I can appreciate if a game is a good puzzle game, but that would still be like, if you don't like puzzle games, saying that it's the best puzzle game is like saying, well, that's the best piece of shit. You know what I mean? So, and I think I would like the story of Baldur's Gate 3. The story looks good. I like fantasy. I do like fantasy. It's one of my favorite genres, but I would just be playing it just for the story, and I can't drop fucking $70 on a game that I don't like the gameplay of. You know what I mean? So, your game, yeah.
This is ready to collapse.
So, when you try to release a game, the public may or may not be into it. Baldur's Gate 3 just so happened to be in the right place in the right time. But you can't predict that. And then you like I said, you might have a bad trailer. Maybe you pursued the wrong direction in the trailer. Or maybe, the trailer misrepresented it. Something very similar happened to fucking, Resident Evil 7. I love Resident Evil 7. I love it so much.
That's what this evening needed. Some ambiance.
But when RE7 originally came out, it didn't do very well financially because they were desperate that the game would scare people. they were desperate that the game would scare people. So they were absolutely determined to not show anything because they were afraid they would ruin the surprise. Because, you know, Resident Evil 6 came out and it was basically like a Call of Duty game. And it was a good game, but it was a good Resident Evil game, if that makes sense. So, when they first showed the trailers for Resident Evil 4, or 7, I'm sorry, they didn't show any of the combat. They didn't show any of the classic Resident Evil gameplay. So, they made people think that it was going to be a walking simulator like Outlast, where you couldn't fight back into anything. And no, it has plenty of guns. It has plenty of combat in classic RE gameplay. So when the game came out, it did very poorly at first. Because people were very cautious about it because they had just been burned with 6 and a lot of people didn't like the trailers. But then once people played the game and started showing the footage, and like, no, this is classic RE gameplay, just modernized, the sales picked up. Now the game is sold tremendously well. But if they had shown better trailers, it would have had a much bigger success up front. I'm leaving him. Like, so many things factor into a game being a success or not, you know? And, you know, we used to have... Game developers used to give games more of a chance, you know?
Christ, what the hell was that?
If your game didn't do well right away, they would usually give you a chance to make a sequel. And because of that, we had so many games... I
don't want to run into the orderlies right now. I'm not sure I can trust them.
We had so many games that come out that were like,
Dr. Gray might be in there. Perfect time to snoop around his office.
You know, like the first time the game came out, it'd be like, okay. And then you get a sequel, and it'd be fucking awesome. Like, there's so many opportunities where that happened. And Sony used to, I mentioned this before, but Sony used to be experts at that. Because there's so many times where Sony would release a good game, or an okay game, and then they'd come out with a sequel, and be fucking amazing. Uncharted 1. Most people would generally say Uncharted 1 is meh. Not that great. I don't know if you've played the Uncharted games. But Uncharted 1, meh. Uncharted 2, fucking amazing. One of the best games on PS3.
What is that?
Got rave reviews. Was the most critically acclaimed game of 2009. So, like, you know, if they had just stopped at Uncharted 1, we wouldn't even have all the good Uncharted that we have now. Whereas I feel I love, like, every major Uncharted game. 2, 3, 4, like, all of them are good. Infamous, okay? Infamous 1, kind of a meh game. Like, it had potential, but it was just kind of eh. Infamous 2, fucking awesome. One of my favorite superhero games, one of my favorite world games, and my all-time favorite PS3 games ever. Infamous 2 fucking rocks.
I need the key. I don't have the combination for this. Maybe Jeremy did.
Ah. 9.
It worked.
Horizon Zero Dawn,
The last...
made by a company that had specialized for a decade or two in first-person linear games, who then tried to do open world third-person game. Zero Dawn was great. Had a lot of potential, but it was kind of rough around the edges. Then Horizon Forbidden West,
This is where my
10 million times better.
I have
And there's even more opportunities. Even more opportunities, you know? And none of those games would have gotten made if they had just, oh, the first game didn't sell well, so cancel it. You know what I mean?
I need the key.
And it like this game is a perfect example, looping back around. This game could have been like that. The first game would have been, oh, you know, kind of meh, rough on the edges. And then the second game would have came out and been 10 times better. Building off this. Because this was, like I said, their first fucking horror game. Almost nobody's gonna get it perfect the first time. Hey there, everyone. Da.
This doesn't look good. I need the key.
Radio. Hyper.
Don't mind if I do. That's better.
Why does this keep happening? What am I supposed to do?
And we're back here. Oh, perfect time to have a look around this place. This is where Jeremy's hiding, right?
Hello? Is anyone there?
Jeremy?
I need help!
Wait. Can you hear me?
I'm stuck in the mud and the fire's taking
Jeremy,
me.
where are you?
The motor is dead. I can't do anything more.
Hang on, Jeremy. I'll figure something out. I'll get the boat running.
Oh, God. Have you played a lot of the Resident Evil games, Mary? Oh, you bitch.
The boat's wedged itself right into the bayou. If I get the motor started, I could try reversing back into the river.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I gotta find a way to... Okay. Yeah, didn't I just... I feel like I just hopped down here. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I did. This is the way forward. I'm trying to remember which way to go. I guess I gotta look another way. Here we go.
Jeremy, where are you?
Well, part of the way anyway. No, I've already been this way yet. Oh, okay, I remember. Yeah, okay. Doop, 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 doop. Yeah, so this should be... Oh, okay, I gotta come at it from the other side. Gotcha. Here we go. This whole area is fucking labyrinthian. Really difficult. Ah, fuck. There's a specific way to do this. I'm trying to remember how, like, there's so many layers on overlapping levels. Have you played Resident Evil 7, Mary? Like, how much did you play it? Like, a lot or a little bit?
Looks pretty weak.
You don't really recall? Is that what you're trying to say?
This definitely needs fuel.
Well, I was gonna suggest playing RE7 after this, just because it's one of my all-time favorite horror games. But if it's something you're like really familiar with, I'd rather play a Resident Evil game that you haven't seen. I could do Resident Evil 2 Remake, you could do Resident Evil 8. I understand that, Mary, but I'm also trying to give you some input here. I want you to have a say when I play as well.
Jaren.
I could also start up The Last of Us. I want you to see that. Or Days Gone.
Better hold on to these. Don't want them to get lost.
So I want you to have some input. Tell me what you want to see. Don't just say whatever's with me. Tell me what you want.
detective.
How long have I been here?
Surprisingly neat. Maybe I've been selling that old... Looks like McCarthy has something hidden inside. Why would McCarthy lock this up? Was he trying to keep Grace from completing the shape? If so, couldn't she have just made another drawing?
What the hell happened in here?
No, so I'm saying I can do Resident Evil, I can do The Last of Us, I can do Days Gone, or something else. Just work with me here. Don't make me beat ya. I never just give me, just did them.
This looks familiar. How am I back at the office? Jeremy's never been here.
How long had it been since I drowned myself in drink and depression? It all felt so peaceful, slipping away into oblivion. A welcoming, dark voice wrapped around my mind like a heavy blanket. It turned off suddenly as I woke up from the sound of my office door closing.
I think I need to figure out where I'm going first. I think I need to figure out where I'm going first.
I remember this case. Some kid got taken by her father, headed out of state. But he had made a mistake by selling a painting that his wife actually cared about to a collector named Thornton to fund his venture. That's how I tracked him down. At least I think so. Thornhill wasn't a bad man, but he had principles keeping him from handing out information on his deals. So he needed some convincing.
Well, every case can't be squeaky clean.
Mr. Saunders had sold a valuable painting to Thornhill, hoping the money would carry him to wherever he was going. The painting, now leaning on an easel in Thornhill's bedroom, had a certain mesmerizing gloom that seemed to call out to me, telling me I was needed for something important. I felt myself falling into the painting, only being brought back by Thornhill, thrusting an address to a Hotel St. George into my hand, and asking me to get the hell out.
I don't remember this at all. But I can't say it didn't happen.
What the fuck? Hold on.
Mr. Saunders had sold a valuable painting to Thornhill, hoping the money would carry him to wherever he was going. The painting, now leaning on an easel in Thornhill's bedroom, had a certain mesmerizing gloom that seemed to call out to me, telling me I was needed for something important. I felt myself falling into the painting, only being brought back by Thornhill, thrusting an address to a Hotel St. George into my hand, and asking me to get the hell out.
I don't remember this at all. But I can't say it didn't happen.
God name
I owed them money, a lot.
God name
I can't remember what for.
God name
Probably
give me
some
this new.
gambling debt growing in size for each payment missed. I punched one of them out, and I sent the others packing. Just... great remorse. hotel ledger, I recognized the handwriting on the signature. Ted Stryker. It was him. I could feel it. It was the kidnapper I was hunting. I put on my knuckles and hurried up to her.
Something about that name, Ted Stryker, rings a bell. I recognize this room, but I didn't catch up with them here. I must have followed them. But where?
That's right, he was running away, ditching his old life and marriage in New Orleans to find something better in Tallahassee. And he took his daughter with him against the will of the mother. That's why she hired me.
Pearl River. This is where I caught up with them. This is what the Dark Man wanted me to revisit. But I'm still not seeing it. What am I forgetting? Save them. This all happened so long ago. I have to find a way to get down there. I have to see it with my own eyes.
There was a boat at the house where I entered. If I can raise the bridge, I should be able to get to the car.
This must be where the bridge is operating. Nothing's happening. Something's holding me back.
Ah, fucking lame.
I'm not going in there. She's clearly had enough of me.
Come.
Detective, am I glad to see you. Lock the door, will you? I don't think Dr. Gray would appreciate us snooping around.
What's going on here? This feels so strange.
There's a book missing.
What did you do?
I was just rearranging the books.
Well, come on, let's check it out. I think I'm beginning to understand. Dr. Gray is dealing with some kind of mass delusion.
Good to... That mark on
The snake.
the floor looks like talisman positions, but from which direction should I look at?
Has that been there this whole time?
Hello?
Detective Conby.
Who is this? Jeremy?
Jeremy is with the Dark Man. You can't save him.
Well, I've done everything you wanted so far, and there's just one more thing on the list. I expect him to keep his promise and return Jeremy unharmed.
Get out, Detective. While you still can.
You okay? You look a little frazzled.
Just stupid telephone.
I know, I tried calling the police earlier. The telephone is completely dead.
It's not... Yeah, no, the telephone isn't working.
Miss Hartwood, I think you're gonna want to see this.
Is there something in the closet?
Yeah, there is. You don't see the very obvious gate leading to whatever Jeremy's madness is serving up next?
I don't understand. Are you making some kind of fashion metaphor? I'm sorry, I don't have time for this. Can you just tell me what you're doing?
You don't see this! It's fine. It's fine. Catch you later.
Are you going inside the closet?
Yeah. You got a problem with that?
No. Do what you think is right, Detective.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Goodbye, Miss Hartwood.
Okay.
Hey, you! What are you doing here? What is this place?
Turn back, Detective. You're not wanted here.
Whoa, take it easy. I'm not your enemy.
Oh, you're wrong, Detective. You're wrong.
Jeremy. Maybe that is what you need to temper that mania of yours.
Stay dead, will you? I'm all out of bullets. Well, if it isn't...
Yeah! Got the platinum. Fuck yeah! Finally. Whew, I'm gonna take a short break and I'll be back.